Ekaba di-fashion tse ntle tse fitlang mona Mzansi di tholahala mose fela ko bo di-New York le bo di-Paris. Ekaba ha o batla ho nwa dikofi tse fapaneng tse monate, o tshwanetse o boe o ye ko Italy. Ekaba o nahana hore di-ideas tsena tse ntle di tswa mose fela. Ha e le hore karabo ya hao e ne le eya, ko dipotsong tse kaofela tse ke di boditseng, o tlameile o shebe episode ya rona ka tjeno. O tlo kgona ho bona hore mona South Africa ba tlisa jwang di-global trends e be ba di etsa dikgwebo tsa bona ka style sa rona hona fela mona Mzansi. Ke le amoela kaofela mo Mzansi ko Talk SA. Lebitso la ka ke Kgaugelo wa Hamonama. Ntata rona Nelson Mandela o kile a bua a re, motho ya ikemiseditseng ka bokamoso ba bophelo ba hae ha ona motho kapa ntho e tla emang tseleng ya hae ya hore a phomelle mo bophelong. Ka jeno lena re shebisisa ka mokgwa setjhaba sena sa rona sa South Africa se holang ka teng. Ko di-entrepreneurs tsa rona di tlisa di-global trends le di-business ideas mona hae be ba bula dikgwebo tsa bona tse atlehileng. Batho ba ba etsang dintho tsena ke batho ba sa dumeleng seemo sa bophelo ba bona se eme tseleng ya bona ya hore ba phomelle mo bophelong. Ke kgolo re le batla ho ba bona batho bana akere ha re yeng he. Re tlo bua le batho ba rona ba mona South Africa ba ile reng ba practice di-constitutional rights tsa bona ka gore ba ikgethele di-trade occupation kapa di-profession tse ba di batlang. Re shebisise le di-go-getter tsa rona tse ile reng ke di-entrepreneurs tse dynamic ka ho tlisa di-global trends hona mona hae. Re tjhakele le Heart of Kayamandi ba re jotsa ka di-hub space tsa bona tse ile reng di thusa batjha ba bangata ko community hore ba be di-entrepreneur. Re phete re bue le di-entrepreneurs tse leng hore di tlisa di-global trends hona mona hae be ba etsa dikgwebo tsa bona tse atlehileng. Ha re fetsa re qetela ka ho bua le mosadi ya inspiring a sa dumele ho se kgone ho bua ha hae hantle go emetseleng ya hae ya hore a phomelle mo bophelong.
Don't stop believing in yourself and don't give up. You can do it.
Re mona fela re fitlile ebile re thabile a ke re la re bona re mo Heart of Kayamandi re tlo bua le founder ya Heart Capital leng Peter Shrimpton hape re bue le chairperson ya Heart of Kayamandi leng Loyiso Mbethe ba tlo re jwetsa ka project ya bona leng Heart of Capital le Hub Spaces. Re tlo qala ka bua le Mr. Peter Shrimpton. So Peter, please tell us a bit more about your entrepreneurial journey.
Well, I've personally only ever been an entrepreneur myself. I've never worked for anybody, not one day in my life. And I know the power of entrepreneurship. And when I first came into the townships, I found a lot of people who were very poor. And there just weren't jobs for them. And so I guess the entrepreneurial spirit inside of me thought to myself, this seems like a massive need in the townships, is to actually go into townships and help people to start and run their own businesses. And that's what I've been doing for many, many years now.
And tell us how Heart Capital came about.
I guess it was coming into a township and just seeing how many young people couldn't find jobs, wanted to start their own businesses, but didn't have the money, they didn't have the training, they didn't have the support. And that didn't stop them. I think that's what triggered me. Even though they didn't have the money or the training or the support, for many young people, entrepreneurship is a means of survival. And I was just so inspired by the courage and the determination and the ambition of so many young people.
So today we are here to specifically speak about one of the projects that the Heart Capital is running, which are the hub spaces. These kind of communal offices have become very trendy all over the world. Why would you say they are so important in communities like these in South Africa?
Oh my goodness, it's absolutely essential. You know, if you're a startup entrepreneur, it's very difficult to persuade your customers that you're legit if you're working from a shack. And so you'll find in these environments, these young entrepreneurs, they don't have access to offices, they don't have access to telephones, to internet connectivity, to meeting rooms, so many things that the rest of us just take for granted in our everyday business life. Young people don't. So you'll find young entrepreneurs, township-based entrepreneurs, you know, running their businesses from internet cafes or from their backpack. So to be able to come into a space like that and say, hey, listen, guys, you need just the basics. You need to have a place that you can go to. You need to have internet connectivity. You need to have a telephone. And you need to be in a professional business environment. That's so key. It's not just the efficiency of how the business works, but it's just that sense of camaraderie. That one moment you're an isolated entrepreneur, you're working by yourself, you don't really know what you're doing. And next moment you find yourself in a shared work environment where there's 20 or 30 other entrepreneurs. They're all in the same life stage as what you are. It's like a tribe, a brotherhood, if you will, or a sisterhood of young people that have made a decision that they're going to rather start their own companies as opposed to sit around waiting for jobs that aren't going to come.
Loyisa, besicela ukuthi usichazele kabanzi nge-entrepreneurial journey yakho.
Eneneni wena nkosazana akululanga and ukungabi lula oko kubangela ba umuntu acinge into yokuba icebo lophilo uzalithatha phi na. So ngalondlela ke kulapho uqale khona ufumaniseka into yoba hey awujonge mfondini into yoba uza kwenza ntoni na ngobomi bakho. And ke mandiyithethe inyani qale ndingazi kwanto and ndingayazi nokuba ndizawuqala ngaphi kodwa ke ndaqalisa.
Nadibana njani ne-Heart Capital and Heart Space ukuze nawo ube yingxenye yako nahlangana kanjani ukuze nikwazi ukuthi nisebenzisane?
Okay, uPeter sihlangene kwalapha endleleni naye kuba ndingumuntu othanda ukunxulumana nabantu abaninzi. Sathi xa sidibana sahlangana kwathiwa ikhona into esixhoseni ethi kwahlangana into bezikade zizondana. Ngesixhosa esivakalayo ukuthi ke kwadibana abantu ebekumele ba nyani iuniverse iyabadibanisa because izinto ebesazithethayo zezi nami ndizithethayo. Kwesibili yena more developed and uneziskill nezakhono ezahlukahlukeneyo endicinga uba afana ba ndiyazidinga ebomini and zingandikhulisa. So naye wabe willing ke ngokuthi ushare i-experience yakhe nayo yonke into ayaziyo kunye nam. So sadibana ngolo hlobo ke loo nto yabangela into yoba kubekho indawo efana nale kuthiwa yi-Heart of Kayamandi.
So wena njengo-chairman wala eKayamandi kule Heart Capital apha eKayamandi udlala yiphi indima?
Indima endiyidlalayo apha kukuba uthi make sure kuqala into yoba all the managerial aspects on site are being taken care of, and secondly i-community iyayi-understand ukuthi i-project le ingantoni na nokugruma ke abafana aba bancinci ndisebenza nabo izakhono ezahlukeneyo ngezoshishini kuba noko ndicima ndinyileqa iminyaka esixhenxe ngoku ndishishina kwii-commodity ezahlukeneyo. So nokuba ke sondle umphakathi ngemifino neziqhamo nayo yonke into lapha lulutho emzimbeni womuntu kuba abantu bale community bangalambi kodwa ukutya khona.
Re le ga lo tšhakela Hub Space ba se bitsang ka gore ke the ban ko Khayelitsha. Hub Space sena se thusa batjha ba bangata ba community ba ile goreng ke di-entrepreneurs ka dikgwebo tsa bona gore ba berekele ko teng hape ba network le ko teng. Lufefe, besacela usitshele ngebhizinisi yakho nangawe futhi.
Igama lami nguLufefe Nomjana, ndihlala lapha eKhayelitsha, ndirana ikhampani ekuthiwa ngu-Espinaca Innovations. Espinaca simply means spinach in Spanish. The idea is to faka spinach with daily consumed products and come up with products that are innovative, healthier and convenient. So basically, yafika when ndijonge apha ekuhlaleni ndafumaniseka ukuthi there was a dying need for a health change, seeing the fact that there are unhealthy, activities and unhealthy lifestyle that we see elokishini.
Enye into esifuna ukuyazi ukuthi le ndawo le Hub Space le ibizwa ngokuthi the ban isize kanjani ibhizinisi yakho?
Khayelitsha on its own, if uyayibona, it's a limited resource environment or limited resource community. So basically yonke into eyenzekayo eKhayelitsha you'll find ukuthi iye ibe luncedo kakhulu. Now the ban was one of izinto eziluncedo kakhulu ukuthi thina somashishini, because as you are running a business consists of administration, it consists of the elements such as maybe distribution and stuff, but I would dwell more on the administration side of a business. So without administration, there's no business. So I think the ban has actually brought that perspective to our businesses, where we know for a fact that we've got an office space, networking as well. We network with other fellow entrepreneurs. And also nandibalulekileyo kakhulu eyizisayo kukho ne-mentorship programs ezikhoyo apha ezizele ukuthi like zikhulisa amashishini wethu, seeing the fact that we run i-businesses singabanye singena-knowledge business. So ukusinceda into yokokuba i-businesses zethu zingatshoni ingekafika ixesha lotshona, sincedwa yi-the ban. So i-space esinje sinceda kakhulu, even for i-meetings ne-clients, so i-business yakhe ithathwe serious. So that is one of izinto ezibaluleke kakhulu nge-the ban.
ka mora dipapatso re lo kopana le di-entrepreneurs tse ding hape tse le goreng ba tlisa di-global trends hona mona hae. Jwale ka hane ke buile hore di-entrepreneurs tsa rona tsa mo Mzansi di tlisa di-global trends hona mo hae. Ka jeno lena re mo ko Khayelitsha re tlo bua le Wongama Mbaleni ke monga coffee shop ena ba bitsang ka hore ke the Department of Coffee. O tlo go jotsa yena hore o tlo etsa jwang batho ba mona Khayelitsha culture ya coffee. But Wongama, sicela ushela ukuthi yini into inspireile ukuthi nivule i-coffee shop apha ekhaya?
So we basically try a laundry and a car wash, and then we decided to come up with something that will be unique and different around the township, because there's too many car wash, there's too many laundries around the township. So we sit down and my two business partners, and then we thought like, what can we do that will be total different? So that's whereby the idea or the name came coffee, or the concept came coffee. And then basically we did a 3 years research about coffee around the township and outside of the township, and then trying to see if we can start a coffee shop in the township. People will buy coffee from us. So.
Besacela usitshele futhi ngama challenges oke wawafacea solo kusuyiqalile le business lena nama rewards owatholile so far.
Apparently 95% of people were saying that coffee is not going to work in the township. So basically we had to crack that mindset, because the main thing that we basically on the research we found out was that the reason why they say it's not going to work in the township is because of the coffee. It's like 20 rand to 25 rand in town. So they thought like people in the township can't afford a cup of cappuccino. But according to the research, when we look around the township, if you can stand on top of Lookout Hill and then look around the township, in too many houses they have like DSTV, so which is they can afford. And people around the township, they wear shoes we call it amakavela, yabo. So which is a 1.5 shoe they can afford. The main thing is a mentally that actually they don't have that mindset. I had to take a 20 rand or 10 rand out of my pocket and buy a cup of coffee. So that was our job, to turn that mindset and make them to do so. Ever since we started in 2012, we've got 3 stores now, which is we have one here and then we have other one at the KCT Mall. And we have one in Philippi Village, which is a new place that is opening now in Philippi Village. And we have done like a lot of events outside.
But yabona khona ama-entrepreneurs ahleli apha ekhaya right now abasibukele mina nawe abafuna ukwazi ukuthi bangayenza njani ukuze nabo baqale amashishini wabo. So ungasho ukuthi wena i-advice ongabanikeza yona yini?
So all I can say is this: when I say the journey, I'm not making them to have a fear of starting a business, because it's the biggest challenge that we have as young black business people, that we are afraid to start because we are afraid to fail. So it's better to start and fail than to not do anything. More especially young people, they must wake up and go and do their own thing, because if you're gonna sit there and then think, actually wait for a job, and then you're not going to get the job. So for me, I didn't even finish my high school, but basically I've managed to try to get out there and then educate myself by taking short courses and going around into many places and do the networking with other people. And the big thing that I will I will pass to them to motivate them is that we basically didn't see ourselves that we can be on TVs, we can be in the newspapers, we can be in the magazines, we can be in the coffee mag, we can be out there because of the coffee that we're doing. We thought like we will have to basically educate yourself more and then went to university before you can be able into the TV. But for what you're passionate about, we've never actually thought like it can take us as far as we are now.
Jwale he ha re lo bonang hore di customer tsa mo Department of Coffee di ikutlwa jwang ka coffee ya hona mona hae. Ha re yeng he. Okay, why do you like the coffee from the Department of Coffee so much?
Koffie hier is vars, dit ruik lekker en dit is baie smaaklik.
Oh, en wat is jou gunsteling koffie?
My gunsteling koffie is cappuccino. Want dit is fantasties.
Okay, baie dankie sir.
Dis 'n plesier.
Jwale re batla ho tseba hore o regular customer na ya mo ko Department of Coffee.
Yes, ke regular customer ya mo Department of Coffee, if not number 1 customer.
Ne go 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 baneng o rata coffee ya mona haholo tjena.
Well, nnete ke gore coffee ya bona ba e dira monate, should I say. Not only ka winter, ke reka gape le ka summer. And you wa tseba le gore culture ya rena ba ke re batho ba bantsho a rate coffee ka summer. Re no wa fisha wa sentse ke no coffee, so ke rata coffee ya bona because ba e dira monate. And as coffee fela ba ne le gape le cappuccino le hot chocolate, which is very nice.
Okay, we no rata efeng haholo feta tse ding.
Well, ke rata cappuccino ya bona. They make it perfect.
Jwale ha re tloa mo ko Department of Coffee, re checkela di-fashion designers tse leng di-dynamic ba etsa mesebetsi e metle ko industry ya fashion mona setjhabeng sa rona sa South Africa. Lebalang ka ho ya ko bo di-Paris le bo di-Milan for di-fashion tse ntlehle. Ka go hona mona Mzansi re na le triangles team ba ile reng ba etsa diphahlo tse ntle tse representang rona batho ba mona South Africa. Lungi and Sibu. Besacela ukuthi nisichazele kabanzi yini en-inspireile ukuthi nize nale gama elibizwa ngokuthi i-triangles.
Triangles, ukuthi try all angles until you get it right. If you, in your career, be it at school, be it ambition, be it as aspiration, it means try until you get it right. Don't give up. There's always angles to try at something. Siqala in 2014, a couple of group of friends, Sihleli, Singokola, and then we decided, because we've done things together, it's like, why don't we just try something else? And then we thought, Imbahla, everyone wears clothes, and everyone tells their own story when they wear their clothes. So why don't we do that? And then Saqala, I guess, our designer, Sazane concepts, and put them together. And then we thought, okay, fine, let's take them out on the street. And then each one is there to Sizbonise, Baztanda, getting the feedback from them. And then we also decided, okay, we're getting good feedback from people around us. Let's do markets. Let's go out there and interact with the customers on one-on-one. That's how it will start out.
Okay, imagine into engifuna ukuyazi ukuthi kungani ningathathanga ama-label ningaya ngaphesheya nathatha ama-label waphesheya nazowathengisa la nina na-decide ukuthi no asenze into okweyethu into engathi eyalana eMzansi.
Well, we wear clothes on a daily basis, so as much as we do wear clothes, siyazithanda impahla. So more like a statement than just covering your body. We just saw fashion all over the world and thought, why not? We also love fashion in South Africa. So infuse it and then come up with something and still share it with the world.
Umbuzo enginawo owogqina ukuthi i-inspiration behind ama-design wenu nithatha and yini futhi leyo inspiration leyo?
I think 40 nayiphuma emakhaya. Mna ngwase-Eastern Cape. When I take that journey this year ekhaya back during the holidays and kukho imicimbi happening at home. And then you see people celebrating, you see the joy ebantwini xa benxibe izimpahla. And then uzibuza uba, can't we kind of wear these type of clothes every day? And how can we infuse it in that way that we're telling our story? I can be going to work, I can be going to a party, but I'm still telling my story as a Black African. Not just if I go to Kile and kuko umsebenzi ekhaya when there's weddings or any other traditional ceremonies. But then is to actually say it can be for every day. And I saw Mama Ka, Usbosisa can also rock it and on his everyday activities. When he's hanging out with his friends, chilling, yeah.
Yini into eningasho ukuthi iyanijabulisa ngokuthi nibe ama-entrepreneurs walana eMzansi?
Personally, I'd say spending time together. You know, like we sit down. She can make a joke about my sketch, you know, we're designing, but still, you know, it starts there where we are in our little space. And once we get out, you know, and people show us love, that's also amazing as well, you know.
Ka mora dipapatso re tlo bua le Ausone ke le jotsa ka yena hore o inspiring. So ntwe nka tshonko lona hore dulang fela hona moo ra khutla e se gale. Re fitlile ebile re thabile ke dutse mona le Aus ya ownang media consultancy company. Aus ona lebitso la hae ke Jabulile Ngwenya. O tlo re jotsa ka company ya hae hapa jotse le lona di entrepreneurs tse dutseng gae gore ha le batla ho bula business ya lona le ka e bula byang. Jabulile, so tell us about your entrepreneurial journey. I mean, you've walked a long way to get where you are today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on this show. My entrepreneurial journey started 2 years ago when I was still living in Johannesburg, working as a journalist and a content consultant. I just felt there was more I could do. I had more to offer the world. So I decided to take that brave leap to resign from the job I had at that time and move to Cape Town and start up my own company. My company specializes in media consultancy work and content creation. And this means that I'm a wordsmith, working with words specifically. And I help my clients to express the ideas into words on the page, making those ideas come alive.
What are the challenges that you have faced so far?
Okay, one is being deaf. Obviously, I cannot access information easily the way a hearing person would. So instead of using the telephone, I use the internet, email, social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, all those alternatives. And from time to time, I use a sign language interpreter when it's needed. And another challenge is finances. As you know, not many startups have the luxury to start up with millions in the bank account. So it's a process of making those challenges even out over the course of time by finding clients and do what you have to do with what you have in your hand.
Yeah, true. Having lived around the world and traveling around the world, obviously you know the international trends. So how would you then compare the international trends to the South African ones? Do you think we are translating them well? Are we slowly getting there, or are we already there?
We are slowly getting there, and in some respects we are there already. The trend of translating an international chain into a local chain and translating a local chain into an international chain is very much at the forefront. And you can see that in media, fashion, technology, it is a two-way process. As Africa, we should be telling the stories that emanate out of our continent and take ownership of the ideas, the change, and the intellectual property, because no one else better knows the challenges and the victories we go through as a continent, as a world.
So there's entrepreneurs sitting at home watching us right now, and they also want to know how to go about opening their own businesses. You know, how would you go about advising them?
One is, don't stop dreaming. Have a vision in mind, but without a vision, you won't go anywhere. Number two is to make sure that you have a business plan written down before you start your business. Number three is to make sure you have some sort of financial capital before you even begin. Number four is to always believe in yourself. Don't stop believing in yourself and don't give up. You can't do it. And number five is to find support through friends or family and other entrepreneurs and collaborate with some trustworthy partners who can help to lift your business up.
Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Jabulile, for sharing your story with us. I'm sure people at home are motivated and are inspired by your journey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kajeno lena re ithutile dintho tse ngata tse re ne re sa di tsebe ka Mzansi. wa bona setjhaba sena sa South Africa sa rona se na le di-entrepreneurs tse ikemiseditseng ebile tse atlehileng ko re tswa bona di-coffee shop gape ra bona media communications ga kopana le di-fashion designer a ka nnete setjhaba sena sa rona sa South Africa se ya hola ka tseba hore ha re so qete ho bua ba bang bana le dipotso ha re kopaneng ko Facebook le ko Twitter re tla ba ga kopana beke tlang kana ko e itseng ene Mzansi le ska lebalang a re bueng